When you're ready, Tina.
It's on.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. We're here in Mindful Movement with Chris. I'm Chris Kissel. We do this every Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. Live stream it on YouTube or find the replays. What we're going to do today is work on the hips. The premise behind this class is to show you strengthening moves so you do not get tightness. We don't actively stretch on muscles. We work through the muscles that are supposed to be contracting and doing the work to move the joints, and that way the tightness goes away on its own. So let's just start off in a seated position, okay? Let me adjust my camera a little bit. My head's getting cut off. Lovely. So anyway, get in a cross-legged position if that's comfortable for you. If not, you can be out here. It's preferable to be here, but once you get here, I want you to flip off your legs. So we're not going into that default. We're going to switch it up. We got to keep the body guessing. Gently place your hands on your knees, and we're just going to roll around on top of those hips. Just roll around. So we're literally working from this crease where our legs fold into our hips, okay? So just think of that. Put your mind right there in that crease and roll around. Now let's reverse that roll. Nice. Nice. Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. And if you want to, let's just add a little back movement too. Let your back just rock back, come forward, move the spine a little bit. What we're doing when we keep the hips happy is we're keeping the spine lined up as well. You're keeping that sacral iliac joint happy. You're keeping the sacrum lined up in between the hips. And the sacrum is the very bottom of your spine. So go ahead and one more time, roll it the other way. Just get a little looser and freer throughout the whole body. Yeah. So keeping the spine happy and keeping the hips happy go hand in hand. So this will be a lot of low back and kind of hip moves. So from here, let's go to hands and knees. And we're going to warm up the whole spine, get it happy. So you're going to set yourself up in your tabletop. Remember, we want a nice sturdy table. We want our table legs to be directly under our shoulders and our hips. So you want a 90-degree angle right here, 90-degree angle right here. So you want your hands right under your hips and your knees, or your hands under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. I know my anatomy. Okay, so let's flatten our feet for this one. What I want you to do is bring your chin to your chest. And as you do, I want you to think of your belly buttons going straight up to the ceiling. Push that belly button up to the ceiling. So we're rounding our neck and we're rounding our low back. Those two parts of your body need to move in harmony. So now let's just drop it flat. So as you drop it flat, lift your chin. If we're getting an arch in our low back, we want the same arch to follow through in our neck. Let's bring that chin to the chest again. Tuck the tailbone so it's like it's shooting to the floor, and your navel is reaching up to the ceiling, up through your back, reaching up there, pull it in tight, and then just let it drop. Tilt the tailbone up. As you tilt the tailbone up, tilt the chin up. Chin comes up, tailbone comes up. Let's do that one more time, and we're going to add a little rock back to this. So get in that very rounded position. Stay in that rounded position and push yourself back towards your heels. Go back as far as you can. Once you're in that comfortable spot, drop your elbows to the floor. Let your belly go. Lift your chin. Slide your chest up through your hands and back to start. That felt so good. Let's do it one more time. So bring your chin to your chest. Round everything up to the ceiling. Open up all the vertebrae in that spine. Now, take it back. So we're opening up the vertebrae towards the back of the spine here. Once you get back here, your elbows are going to come down to the mat. You're going to lift your chin, let your belly hang. And then the vertebrae on the front side are opening up as we come through this way, up through our chest and back to our hands and knees. Nice job, nice job. All right, so we'll stay at our tabletop for this next one. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our right knee and we're going to lift it out to the side, kind of in fire hydrant stance. You don't have to go too terribly high. But once you're here, I want you to extend your leg out straight to the side and your foot's on the floor. So you're up like this, your foot is on the floor, your toes are pointed forward, and you're going to just rock back towards your heels. You can curl the back toes under. Rock back towards your heel. Just go where you can. I don't want you to go past extreme tightness. We're going to honor that tightness. That tightness is your body's mechanism to hold you in a safe range. But we're rocking back and coming back up. Now, as we rock back, you're working that quad on that kneeling knee, and you're opening up the inside of the leg, and your body is squeezing right here in your glute med. It's shortening right here and giving you strength here. So each time you rock back, you might be able to go a little farther. One more rock back here. And let's come up out of this. Just bring it back in. Come on up. If you need to, shake your wrists out. I'm going to turn around so you can see me here. I'll go this way this time. So we're working with the left leg now. So what I want you to do is curl your right toes under. You're going to lift your left knee. Now, when you lift that, I don't want to see a big shift here. Just lift it where it can go. Then straighten your leg out. So that's where it can naturally go. We're not forcing it into some place where it can't go. And from here, you're just going to push back toward your heels, rock back, and then come back to center. And rock back and come back to center. And rock back and come back to center. Good job, good job. All right, so let's go on our sides. We're going to keep working these hips right here in the gluteus medius and gluteus minimus. So you guys might have done this move. It's a big physical therapy move. I want you to go down on your side where you're comfortable. And I want you to think of your feet being lined up with your butt. So your feet are being lined up with your butt. Your knees are forward. So a typical clamshell is what we would be doing. Now you can be straight down like this. A typical clamshell is you keep your feet together and you open out like this. So let's do a couple of these just to warm up the hip. So you keep your feet together and then you press your knees together as you come down. Open up and then think of pressing your knees together as you come down. So now we're going to create more strength right here in this gluteus medius. So what I want you to do is keep this bottom leg bent exactly where it is. Straighten out the top leg, extend it straight up from your body. Point your toes forward, and you're going to lift that leg up and down. What I don't want to see, I don't want you to turn your leg out and lift it high up like this. We're going to keep the toes facing forward. So the outside of your foot is lifting up to the ceiling, up and down. Now that may limit the distance you can lift. That's okay. We want to keep the movement right here, strengthening this hip muscle right here to the side. So you lift it up and down. Lift it up and down. One more time. Lift it up and down. Now we are going to turn it a little. So what you're going to do is straighten that bottom leg out. So now your hips are stacked on top of each other, okay? So make sure you're not leaning forward, you're not leaning back. Get your perfect position, take your hand, use it as a kickstand, all right? And what you're going to do is you're going to lift your leg up, you're going to point your toes down, and you're going to take your toes and tap them in front of that straight leg. Lift it up and then tap it in, and then turn your toes up and tap your heel behind that straight leg. So take it slow so you're not wiggling around. Toe points down, it taps in front of your straight leg. Lift up, toes point up, your heel taps down behind that straight leg. So tighten up here in your core. You want to keep your body steady. You don't want to be rocking back and forth. All that should be moving right now is your leg. So keep your as still and stable as you can, and that's working your whole core. Tap in front with the toes. Turn your leg from your hip. Tap in back from the heel. Let's do 3 more of those. Tap in front with the toes. Turn your foot up. Tap in back with the heel. Tap in front with the toes. Turn your leg, tap in back with the heel, and bring the legs back together. Good job. Let's go over to the other side. So go ahead and position yourself the other way. We're going to start off in our clamshell, which means we want our heels even with our hips. So you're going to bring your knees a little forward. You can come up in this high position and you can kind of actually see what's going on. So make sure you're lined up here. Go on down to your side. And from here, we're just going to open our legs up and close them. But do both sides with purpose. When you open, push it open, push it open, push it open. Now, as you're coming down, pretend like you've got a ball or something between your legs and you're squeezing it together. So come open, open, open with purpose. Put your mind in this movement. Squeeze it back down and together. Let's open it out. Open, open, open. And squeeze it back down and together. Okay, so now what I want you to do is keep the bottom leg bent. I want you to straighten the top leg. We're going to keep our toes pointed forward, so the outside of our foot is going to be guided up to the ceiling. Be mindful of the rest of your body. Keep it still. The only thing moving up and down is your leg. So you've got to engage your core. You've got to hold everything strong, and don't hold your breath. Keep breathing in and out. So as you go up, take an inhale. As you come down, take an exhale. Take your time with this. Coordinate this move. Enjoy the fact that your hip can move. We've got to keep the hips moving. Everything else falls apart if that doesn't happen. All right. Let's do 1 more. Okay. All right. So from here, let's go ahead and straighten both legs out. So we're stacked. Remember, we're not leaning forward with the hips. We're not leaning back. Check it out. Take a look at where you are. All right. So once you're there, plant this hand to keep yourself there, because the only thing that's going to be moving is that bottom leg. So what I want you to do is I want you to lift your leg up, point your toes, tap your toe in front of that straight leg that's on the floor, come up, turn your foot so your toes are pointed towards the ceiling, tap your heel down and back. Now, if it doesn't go all the way towards the back, that's okay. Turn your foot down, tap your toe to the floor. Now, when I say turn your foot up, I mean turn it all the way, the whole leg, the body of the leg, and then tap the heel down, because we're working this from the hip. So we're pointing the toe down towards the floor. We're tapping in the front of that straight leg. We're coming up, then we're turning from the hip, and we're tapping our heel back behind that straight leg. So let's turn from the hip, tap the toe in front, come up, turn from the hip, tap the heel, and come up. Let's do 1 more. Turn from the hip, tap the toe in front, come up, turn from the heel and the hip, and tap the heel in the back. All right. Good job, folks. Okay, let's come up to a seated position. And we're going to take our right leg and we're going to bend it in front. So you're kind of got your knees kind of even right here at the edge of your mat or however you are. You're up in this nice position here, okay? So what I want you to do here is I want you to come here and I want you to go ahead and I want you to come towards your right bent knee and lean towards the floor, and we're moving from the hip. And then I want you to come up, put your hands on your chest, feel your heart beating. And I want you to do a little side bend here towards that left leg. So you get a little side bend there. So take your heart and take it towards the right leg. Then you can put your hands on the floor and I want you just to bend forward over that right leg. Come up, take your hands to your heart, center your heart, and then bend sideways towards that left leg. Let's do that a few more times. So twist with, I want you to keep your hands on your heart because I want that twist to come from your ribs, your heart. Think of your heart going towards your right leg. Then you can use your hands to come down to the floor. If you want to, you can just lean forward without using your hands. So we'll go here. And then I want you to feel that bend right at the waist. You're bending right at the waist. So let's go here. Now, if you want to take a little more core challenge, you just lean forward, but keep your chest up. I don't want you rounding over. So you'll be leaning over that right leg and you're coming up. You're centering yourself. You're bending to the left leg. So let's go into the modified one again. You turn. You can put your hands on the floor. Keep your chest up though. I mean, I want a nice straight back and then come up. Hands to your heart, come here. Now, if you need your hand back here to lean, to help you lean, go ahead, you can lean like that. Let's try it with our hands up if you can do it. So come over here, lean forward as far as you can, come up, turn to center, give me a side bend right here at the waist, side bending towards that left leg. All right, let's balance that out and switch our legs. So come on around. So now we've got our left leg in front here, our right leg behind. Put our hands on our heart. Tell yourself you love yourself, okay? Now what I want you to do is I want you to twist towards that left leg. And for the first one, let's just take our hands, put them on the mat. Keep your chin lifted because I want you to have a straight spine here. I don't want you rounding over like this. So keep your head lifted in your chest and go forward. Bring your hands back to your heart. Come to the center and give me a side bend to that right side. So we're working the muscles that are bending us here, but it's allowing this to open up. So if you don't have anything contracting here, you're going to be real stiff right over on this side. So let's do that again. So we're going to go to the left leg. If you want, put your hands on the floor to catch yourself. Keep your chest up, back straight. Lift yourself up. Bring yourself to center. Take a bend to the right. Bend over. Come back up. Good job. Go ahead and face your left knee. Give a nice strong lean over that leg. Come up. Come back to center. Give me a bend right here into that right side. Nice. Come over here. Lean. Come up. Come back to center. Feel that heartbeat? Go ahead and give me a bend. Let's do one more to this side. Lean over. Remember, you can put your hands down and you can go down a little farther if you want. When we're not using our hands, we're getting a little more work through our core right here. Give it a lean. Nice job. Okay, let's do a little slow motion windshield wipers, all right? So we're gonna really think about this. So normally we might just be like rocking our hips back and forth, and go ahead and do that if you want for a minute. Loosen up what we just did, although you should be loose from the move we just did. But what I want you to think about is really moving each leg, all right? So what I want you to do is we're gonna focus on that left leg coming open. So go ahead and slowly move that left leg towards the floor. Now, as you're moving that left leg towards the floor, the right leg stays there. So go as far as you can, all right? Now we've got a nice opening here in our legs. I want you to keep that opening, and I want you to move the right knee slowly towards the floor, pushing the right knee towards the floor. Push it, push it, push it. Go ahead and push it down as far as you can go. Once you're there, I want you to keep that left knee on the floor. You're going to open up your legs now as wide as they can go. So you're going to take that right knee and you're going to keep moving it towards the right side. So move it over as far as you can to the right side. Once you're there, we're going to keep moving the right knee. We're going to keep our legs open, but the left leg's going to lift up and it's going to come towards the right side, but you're keeping your legs spread apart. Now, once you've got that right leg on the floor, I want you to slowly turn that left knee towards the floor. Slowly push it into the floor. So you're taking a nice slow move here. Slow move, controlled move for the hip. Go as far as you can. If you can tap the floor, that's great. We're going to do that one more time. So you're going to lift that left leg up off the floor. The right leg is glued into the floor. You're going to open up really slowly that left leg. Once you get as far as you can comfortably go, you keep them open, but we're going to rock that left knee over towards the floor. The right leg's just following along. So go ahead and drop that left leg, left knee towards the floor. Push it into the floor there. You've got your legs open wide here. Now, once they're there, I want you to take that right knee and we're rotating it slowly to the floor. Rotate it to the floor. And ready? Go ahead and push it to the floor. Nice job. So we're going to do a little bit more rotation in these hips. We're going to get the joint really up high in the ball and socket area of the hip joint. So let's take our right foot in front again this time, our left leg back. Similar to what we were doing with the heart, but what I want you to do is I want you to think of your rib cage twisting over to your right leg. Then you're going to take your hands and you're going to plant them on the floor. Now, I want you to walk your hands out as far as you can. You're down on your elbows. And from here, I want you to lift the left knee up off the floor, but the foot stays down. So we're just lifting the left knee off the floor and putting it back down. Lift it up, put it down. So we're leaning towards the right leg and we're lifting and lowering the left knee with the foot on the ground. Okay, so let's switch it up. We'll stay in this position, but what I want you to do is lift your foot off the ground, your left foot, and then put it down. So you're creating internal rotation at this hip joint. When we lifted our knee, we were creating external rotation, but the movement should become right from here, right here in your hip. So rock it open and back. Lift the foot, put it down. All right, let's come up out of this. And if you want to switch your legs without using your hands, we're going to be using our core again. So switch it around however you want. We're going to line it up so our left leg's in front. We're thinking of twisting our rib cage over towards our left leg. We're going to plant our hands on the floor. We're going to walk our hands out and we're down on our elbows. All right, once you're here, I want you to take your right knee and I want you to lift it up off the floor. It's not going to be a big move, and it might not be as big as the other side, or it might be more free. This is how you tell if your hips are working equally. And most often than not, they're not working equally, but that's our goal, to be symmetrical. So you're lifting your knee up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and one more, up with the knee and down. So let's do it now with our foot and create internal rotation. So just keep your knee down, you're lifting your foot up and down, up and down. It's a small move, up and down, 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 and one more, up and down. All right, come on up. Let's go to our backs. If you have a yoga block, grab it. If you don't need it. I prefer it just because I feel like it stabilizes my low back a little. So grab a yoga block if you can. Like I said, if you don't have it, you don't need it. But we're going to put it between your knees as we roll down to the floor. Use those abdominals as you come down to the floor. And then we're going to take that yoga block and we're going to seat it right under our sacrum. So remember, your sacrum is that bony part in between your butt cheeks. I don't want this block under your low back. I want it on that flat bony part at the bottom of your low back towards your rear. So you're on that flat spot, all right? From here, just put your arms down by the side. Bring your knees up towards your chest. Now, I want you to extend your legs as straight as you can. Now, so if your legs don't extend real straight here, you can have a slight bend in your knees. But if this is really tight, lower your legs down a little as we do this. But get your legs as high as you can. We're going to open and close the legs and get some nice movement for the abductors on the inside of your legs. So go ahead and point your toes, open your legs out wide. Now I want you to flex your feet, push your heels towards the ceiling, and squeeze the inside of your legs back together. Point your toes, open your legs out wide. Flex your feet, squeeze those legs back together. Point your toes, open out wide, getting some work in these ankles. Flex your feet, push your heels to the ceiling as you squeeze your legs back together. One more time, point your toes, open out wide, flex your feet, squeeze those heels back together. Bend your knees, take your feet to the floor, take your block away if you have one. Let's go ahead and sit up. Give yourself a pat on the back. Did a great job. I hope your hips are just like really mobile. Go dancing today. Dance around the house. Have some fun. Spread some joy. And I'll see you again next Wednesday at 7 a.m. Eastern time.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Aisha, I'll be back in here.